Hello, royalties. Hello, all. Welcome to another table talk with Maris Free. How are you all doing? Hmm. May is getting closer to getting done with, and June is heading on. We are getting into the summer vacation and all the beauty we'll be expecting to go out and have time together, but now of limited because of a crisis that we're going through of the pandemic, but hopefully it's getting better. And we're now in a new trying to figure out who are we when a storm hits, what is next? Seeking the mind of who are we? Why do we have challenges in the first place? Why are we even in this world where we have to have something that have to be a surprise, and the surprise sometimes good, sometimes not expected, of unfairness leads us into this journey with me of traveling the road, peace through the storm, back to peace that have no storm. Why are we divided? Why are we apart? Why are we like broken pieces? Why don't we look all alike, like one? Will it be boring? Will it be really boring? Are we saying peace that have no storm will be boring? Um, no. All faces looking like one will be boring. Hmm. Well, we are still getting to that place, right? Of peace that have no storm. Of all like light traveling, even of the soul. The soul have no face, but we feel we are able to walk with the soul. The true us, the mind, have no image written on, or right, and we are able to interact of the mind of a greater mind. When we meet a greater mind, we're like, wow, smart one. Are we looking smart? Are we looking smart because of what we look like? No, it's not of our physical. That when a child is smarter than an older one of the physical, we are like, doesn't mean the child is greater than the physical, the one older. No, we are the mind. Okay, we are the mind. Why is someone looking like less of knowledge than the other? Is it our focus? Are we focusing on different things, and that some are focusing on what is expected, and some going like the harder way to get to the right? There is no wrong way. There's only a complicated right and the right. There is a right and a complicated right. So we're trying to correct this we're trying to fix, we're trying to easy this complicated right to a better right. And like I said, knowing more of Christianity, Yeshua, we call Christ today, will say, my burden is lighter, my yoke is easier. Okay, doesn't mean that there's no yoke, doesn't mean there's no burden, but it's easier. So we're looking for the easiest way back to peace that have no storm. Okay, we have come to this great place of knowledge that after all our ancestors and generations, we are now a millennial generation looking at the generation Z, and the generation Z looking at the generation Alpha. We're trying, are we not going to stop somewhere? What are all these telling us? This generation upon generations, that even of the Holy Bible is telling us, the Holy Bible, the Christian Bible is telling us of the generations of those that were before Christ. Why are all these important? Why do we even look up to our ancestors? Why? When we are a being of self, why? It's a matter of realizing that we are traveling. We are on a journey. We are when you get to this place of the earth, you seek returning back. Okay? Is this the bottom of the bottomless pit? It should be. We don't want more. Because even at this place of a bottomless, at this place of the earth that we call the earth of a physical, like I said in the last videos, that we are like eyes, It enables us to understand that it is a limited state that is difficult to maneuver. It's like everyone that is above you is controlling you, or suppressing you in one way or the other. That you have to rely on the greatest of all, which is who are those of peace that have no storm, to be able to return back of better. Okay, you have to rely on them like a child, or in a house of siblings. The baby will always look up to the one that is older, okay, that have more peace. That if the one that is older have more storm, they'll be working with them, but with low self-esteem because they don't have themselves, right? Fulfilling some of their desires that they don't want to, but hoping that they could change and be better, and cannot wait to leave the house when they turn to, oh, I can't wait to be 21 and leave this house. I'll be coming back just to visit. At least I'll be on my own and no one will be controlling me like I was when I was a kid. Have we said all these experiences we've had to bring us to a place of why are we here in the first place? That is the topic of today. Why are we here in the first place? Why is there a fall? Why are we humans? Is a topic today, like I said in the last video, that we have to get to the answer of this question. Okay, and this is what we are having today. Today is May 14, 2021. I hope this journey has been useful and worthy. It may sound dummy, okay, like the dummy books we have in the library or in the bookstore, okay. I went to Barnes and Noble and I saw these books, the book for dummies in that I'm like, who's a dummy? Like, now, what does that mean? Does it mean that we are stupid? No, it's saying that some things that you've learned of a long time that you need reminder. Okay, it's like dummy, but it's important. You'll be surprised how it's recalling. It's recalling. So what we're doing is reminding us of what we knew before that we've forgotten. Okay, that when we get across of knowledge again, we are like, oh, how did I not even remember this? You know what I mean? So isn't out of arrogant pride or low self-esteem? No, of gratitude. We know we acknowledge of gratitude, having grace on each other, of peace, steering the storm back to peace that have no storm. This is our purpose today. And all through this journey with me and Emily. Okay, so let's get into our topic. Let's get into our topic of today. Why are we on planet Earth? That is my title. Okay, why are we on planet Earth? Is planet Earth the least of all planets? Is the one that have living, they say, we say, okay, the only one that have living. If our helpers, researchers have searched out there and how great they are, I appreciate them so much of enabling these informations. Some are saying, no, those are not real. Fiction or non-fiction, enable a lesson and a blessing. It's all that I know. Okay, that when you see what is not working right, you try to enable an easy, right? We may say not working right, but meaning that a complicated right. We want the easiest way out of this place is what it is. There are some ways we call them the wrong way. No, it's not a wrong way. It's only a harder way. But we're looking for the easiest way out. And the easiest way out is only peace in the storm. Never have a storm on a storm. Okay, and no matter the number, some will say just a little storm. He said no, this everything grows, the storm grows. We are returning back. Our returning back, it should be of peace that have no storm. Okay, let all the storms be still. Peace, returning back into peace. Flip the puzzle pieces. So we are beings on earth of varieties. Okay, varieties like a glass broken into pieces, and when a glass is broken into pieces, it's like they don't all look equal of sizes. We see them of different of irregular shapes, irregular pieces. So like of our earth, we have humans, we have animals, we have this, we have that we have a plant, we have a stone, we have different physical matters. We have different physical images. We have a shadow. We have all these different images. Why? They're all irregular. Okay. And then we are like, it should be like that. Is it normal? Now we begin to realize that it's not normal because when we become a child, when we get into when we are delivered into this world like a child, we want to grow. We seek growing. We seek to advance. We seek to become matured and older. And when we get to the place of being older, we don't want to be called older anymore. It's a place where we want to just be stable there, of being young. That when you reach 60, you're like, I want to be 30. Like my 60 should be like 30 again. But I don't want to be a 30-year-old. But I want to be 60, but looking like 30. You know what I mean? Meaning that you want to be of wisdom of a 60-year-old, but of your physical should look more of like a 30, of your strength, and that we see of wealth and health. You want your wealth and your health to be equal. That when you're losing your health, having all the wealth, you are seeking for health. Like I want to be like 30 again, even though the wisdom, I want the wisdom, right? Wisdom like our riches. So I hope we are understanding where I'm leading us with this peace in the storm, back to peace that have no storm, the disorientation, the little pieces that we are missing. We are trying to gather and put them together so we travel this road safe, knowing that we have different states. The like I said, of the ice, liquid, and gas, looking like the physical body that we have of the flesh, the soul, and then the mind, which we are all water, right? All water. But the gaseous state is the most powerful state because it's more flexible. Okay, than liquid. Then you cannot control gas, but you can control liquid. That if you want to control gas, it's of self will to become liquid or and solid by getting into a place of gravity. Okay, gravity is like the storms that we have, that we're trying to piece still them back so we can be not under the law of gravity anymore. Okay, and that is of the mind, not only of the physical. That we're able to achieve that of the physical. What about the mind? Okay, we are seeking for that of the mind, which is the true us. That of the physical, the true us is the flesh, and then and then the mind is instead a lesser of us. But when we see of reality of who we are the mind, because the flesh moves on. So looking young is worthy, but also of wisdom must we grow. So what are we missing? What are we missing? The wisdom of being older. What is that? Is it a misunderstanding of our purpose? It's not only power. We're not only seeking power, but we are seeking reorientation. That what we call wisdom is not even wisdom. It's only part of the physical, okay, of having power to be able to interchange states. But we are missing the point of what is wisdom, which is peace still in the storm. That when you're able to reach 60, you should be able to know how to peace still the storm better than a baby. Okay, not peace still in the storm and then turning out on another, right? So we're trying to be of equal to all. If we're peace still in the storm here, it should be for everyone. It should be for all, right? Wherever you're going, should be pistol in the storm, knowing that you're pistol in the storm in the body. When you get to be a soul, liquid, you're pistol in the storm. Getting to the gaseous state, you're pistol in the storm, even getting better of practice, right? I hope you're understanding where we are going with this. So, like the following pieces now, we are trying to return back to a whole state. And until we get back to our whole state, then we can realize that we can be of equal again, of becoming whole, of even knowing the difference of knowledge. We all equal in knowledge of the mind, and we all a whole. That's what we're looking for. We're trying to go back to our origin. Okay, like Lord Shakespeare said, some were born great, some achieved greatness, some it been trusted upon them. We know that some were born great. That means we fall. That means when we fall into pieces. Some pieces are greater than others. Like the humans are higher beings to the other beings. So does it mean that that's how it's supposed to be? Oh no, we have intellect. We know it's not supposed to be that way. We are all supposed to have the same knowledge. We're all supposed to be able to have this same, wealth of what? Right, without discrimination. So the animals should be seeking to become like humans, or even better than humans, that humans are seeking to become better than themselves, meaning that there's something above all this physical that we're looking for. The liquid state, the soul, is still limited. The gaseous state, we want to get to that gaseous state, and not only being of gaseous state, but of gaseous state of peace that have no storm, right? We're trying to get to the place of mind, peace that have no storm, okay? So that we are able to travel of better, that when you're able to have this peace that have no storm of best in the physical, you travel even safer, into the liquid, and able to travel and be in control of self back without letting gravity being another need for you to return. We don't want to be entering bodies, right? Because they are limited, but we are struggling with entering bodies because we are disoriented of our purpose of peace in the storm. And how do we peace through the storm when others are not getting it? Our approach of the physical will enable those of the liquid state of the soul and of the liquid and gaseous state to be able to walk right, to travel right, knowing that when we get to the place of understanding that we're not supposed to be of a physical state, if all the ice become liquid, there will be no need for ice, right? Gravity, we all have to pass the state of gravity. And how do we pass the state of gravity? It should be of peace during the storm back to peace that have no storm. That if we're able to do it by of power, okay, of power, we lose the point, right? That even of a child is losing their means of becoming peace that have no storm by an older one, making them becoming of of power without being of another state, right? Of making them to get to the place of seeking for another state. Because an older adult of 90 is seeking to become liquid. And then if you're trying to make a 2-year-old to become liquid when they're only two, that they had the time to have the process of time to get to a place of knowing of their purpose of being is to peace still the storm, back to peace that have no storm. So how did we fall? So why are we some greater? Why did we fall? How did the glass fall and make all these pieces? Okay, we belong to a creator. The creator. We don't want to hear about God, what the atheists say, right? And we respect that. Okay. We all belong to peace that have no storm. But we all see that of a physical, we have a self-will. We have a self-will to choose. We have a self-will to think. So did one make a mistake and fall and enable anxiety on the others? And sometimes anxiety can, even you don't want to fall, sometimes you instead fall. Because you're trying not to fall, you instead fall. You know what I mean? Then some are able to hold their ground. Okay, now to help the others come back, okay, now maybe the means of trying to help them come back is making others fall. Now I'm looking for the best means for enable others to return. Okay, I'm using the knowledge of what we have now to be able to grasp of what we have of origin, and that is how we return. Step by step, like I said, to look in the mirror, you may not see your whole self of your body. So you want to look into a mirror. You just trust the mirror. No, you want to look at the part of your body that you can see of with your eyes and compare with that in the mirror. And then that little part is what you work with in order to be able to see the real image of you. That when you see that they don't look alike, you try to fix the mirror onto the point, make it smooth, the surface smooth and clearer, to the point where you can see the hand really well. Then if you can see the hand really well, then you can see your image. That's what we're looking for, the right mind. We're trying to get to that place of understanding who we are. Peace, we know that it's peace that have no storm. But how do we get to that peace that have no storm? It's by peace still in the storm. And now how do we peace still the storm? We must be able to diagnose ourselves to know which one is the storm and which one needs healing. We're modeling ourselves of the areas that need peace, right? We know that there's a piece in us that is whole. And that little piece have to enable us to be able to understand the others, because we're able to see that piece of us, of the mind, which is good. We know some things that are good. The smile is good. But how do you use that smile? Will you use it to mock when someone is feeling pain? You smile. That's mocking at that one. That we have been able to know. Of a child, baby growing up, we didn't know that. But when we're growing up to a point, we're able to speak. We're not speaking. So he's telling us that when we are advancing back. So how did we fall? The fall of self-will, right? The first one fell of self-will, not knowing, maybe didn't know that they have a self-will, right? Maybe didn't know that they have a self-will. Like a magnet, we all attach, like nails attached to a magnet. Like iron, we are all ions. We are attached to a magnet. Like they say, electrons are attached on the shells, right? So if one kicks out, okay, maybe by mistake, we want to return, right? And if he kicks out and the other is trying to also kick out, and then some are trying to hold, and trying to hold is instead more anxiety and kicking out without knowing, at the end, all trying to come back to their stable state. That's what chemistry, all these that happen we are in level of many books. Let's try to put them together of the mind we are and try to heal. And try to heal. Please, this is where the spirit is taking me to, of like, enough of the books, enough of the drama, ice, ice, ice age, enough of the drama, enough of the low self-esteem, enough of the arrogant pride. Humble yourselves, ice. We all of the ice state. We are more so unstable, right? It's funny how of the mind, instead the ice is more unstable. Didn't that instead of the gas is instead the body. So it's like we are upside down. We have to turn and get right. The physical is like an upside down state. Our going back into the mind is like getting back upright, right? So we all have experienced all this to see that, hey, this is the need. This is the need of peace, tilling the storm back to peace that have no storm. Knowing ourselves. We've talked about the spirituality, about a spiritual person, and their characteristics, of becoming, the meaning, your value and all that. And then now we are looking at the body, who we are. Why are we this body? Okay, why is there a body, a soul, and mind? The mind, I said, is the spirit, the battlefield. That's who we are. We are questioning. We are like the electrons now, like moving about. We are questioning ourselves. Why are we out of the stability that we were on the shell? Why are we out? Like the Hinduism will say Brahmin. Okay, the Brahma. The Brahma is the universal God, the creator God, the creator of all existence. Right? That's where we are heading back to. Okay, and then we have the Buddhists will say we are going back to nirvana, and we know nirvana is the state. Nirvana is the greatest state of being, that you've left samsara. You don't have any more karma, which is like negative energy. You have only positive energy. You're looking for that positive state where there's no negative. That's peace that have no storm. That is the level we're looking for, and that's where we come from. It's like the shell of an element of an atom, right? The shell of an atom. So we are like the electrons on it. So now, what are we now? Like sorry, the the Abrahamic, the Abrahamic religion, the Islam, the Christianity, and Judaism will say they're looking for one God, the one that we belong to, that atom that we all belong to. We the electrons, we're going back there. It's only one. So all are all saying the same thing in a different way, but the same thing according to their irregular shapes, right? We are all in irregular shape. We're all seeing it according to how we're seeing it, but it's the same peace that have no storm. We are seeking to go back to. Of every level that we have gone to is still limited. There is still a piece missing, but it's of better. It's showing us that we are getting there, right? And that getting there is now of those that some have reached, but now not complete, because other electrons are missing, and those are the ones. Those are us of being solid, like the stubborn ground. It's like, they say, a stubborn head. Okay, how do we get them to get back right? They have used all kind of measures. Should we stop them from eating? Should we just get the earth wash them away and let them get back to all those measures as storms on storm? We are looking for peaceful ways, peaceful measures to return back to the reality that we are of the mind. Not the flesh is already so much tired, is what we are understanding of the writings on the flesh. Why do we get older, and why does the flesh become so weak and It's like falls apart. Why do we have a grave? Are we supposed to have a grave? But all this enabling of books just to enable us to realize that we of the mind are not supposed to be in this state of seeing deformations and breakage. We are supposed to be of a state of peace that have no storm. That the mind, we have a mental home right now. We have facilities that we have to go there to help patients become worthy. Rehabilitation, mental health is a serious issue now because we are trying to maintain the physical state. The eyes. The eyes is like hot. It's hot like fire too. If you've been out in the snow and when you come back in, it's hot like fire. We are in fire. The ice. We need to return back to the body that we are. Okay? And the body is the gaseous state. And not only being of the gaseous state, but of peace that have no storm is how we return back. So we don't fall back. To be born in this to be born in this world is to be delivered into a place of torment, a place of struggle, a place of limitation. Tormenting means that you're limited, that others are out there pounding on you. Why? Because they have left the physical into the flexible states, is still in disorientation and they don't know where to go. And you becoming lower, they are control. They're able to control you without even knowing, just because they're disrupted. They are trying to stepping on you. You should stand up. Standing up is getting to the liquid state, and only possible by pistolling the storm back to wisdom of peace that have no storm. That you will be able to lead these ones. That you will not be controlling them by stepping on them, by directing their legs of where they're going, or by directing their path, how they are traveling, is what we are seeking. Peace in the storm of each other. That those stepping on you are not enemies, but just because they're disorientated doesn't mean that they cannot be reorientated back to the right of where they belong. Right? The African tradition, we are seeking for healing. We always seek for healing, harmony, peace, right? Seeking to return back to this place of comfort, of of why is this one tormenting me? We want peace. And the shrine is all that important to us, spirituality of enabling the balance of within. The balance of within is always peace that have no storm. That when we want to find balance by hurting another, or revenging or revenge or revenging on another, is just only a storm on a storm. To come to a place of realizing that is arrogant pride, hidden arrogant pride, right? Then when this one, after a while, they come back on us. It's the same thing that I see even in the Christian Bible. Even though this with the Abrahamic religion are after one God, it's the same thing of back of the Old Testament, of how today the Israelites will stand, tomorrow they'll be captured, and always like back and forth of arrogant pride, low self-esteem, arrogant pride, all trying to get to this place of peace that have no storm. Why Yeshua was able to come among them and say, hey, this is what you should do. We need to peace still the storm, not a storm on a storm. Make not enemies, not eye for an eye. It was tough for them to grasp this new this new way of viewing that Christ was enabling of them. But it took a while, and today we all are embracing it and seeing that that's the only way out. Not to, and now to the point where we're seeing that, hey, bringing a child into a place of a storm, is delivering a child into fire, into a struggle, because it would have been great if there were those that were not in the liquid state, that were disorientated, or even in the gaseous state, right, that are still struggling to get to understand peace, still in the storm. But because there are some that are not being able to understand this, they are difficult to the solid state that we are. And so we have to be able to understand that and try to prevent enabling among those of soul and mind, of soul and spirit. Okay, spirit means that the mind, like the gaseous state. How we explain it when we use the ice, liquid, gas, it's much more understandable, knowing that it's all about water, and water is spirit. The spirit has a solid state and has the liquid state and have the gaseous state. I hope you understand it. And the gaseous state is where we are and we belong, and that's the mind. Okay, so the best state of water is gaseous, not seeable. right? It means that it's peace. Mean that it's in the atom. It's like the heart in the chest. It's in the right place. You only feel, you only have the effect of it, of happiness, of peace. When you listen to the heart with the stethoscope, you hear it beat, you feel so good. But when the heart pops out to beat out of the chest, you're like, oh, no, 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 no. That's not how I want to see it. So this is where we are heading to. Peace still in the storm, back to peace that have no storm. I really hope we understand what I'm trying to explain of our traveling this journey with me. Please, let's journey together with this the little that we need, the basics that we are missing while interchanging the states that we are interchanging of power, which is without wisdom is a struggle. Okay. Without wisdom does not mean that we don't have wisdom, but limited. Limited wisdom is not enough wisdom, is what we're saying when we say no wisdom. Right? So now we see that even a slave wants to be paid. And when the slave is being paid, they become a servant, they are so glad. That is of our own fall, right? And then, but after a while, we feel like it's not enough. We want to become the owner. Want to own. We want to become owners, and that's what is going on with us. We are all based on having the wealth, but where is the health? The health is the wisdom of peace still in the stomach of the mind. We need a healthy mind of knowing who we are, of peace still in the stomach to peace that have no storm. That changing the states is not really the main goal. It's worth it, but the main the means of being able to change these states should be of the basic, the cornerstone, the foundation, which is peace during the storm, acknowledging our need, our our main our main our main our main need. The vital part of us is knowing who we are, peace that have no storm that we're returning back to. So when born or delivered into the world, we know that we are in a fallen we are a fallen piece. And that's all about being a slave. And we're seeking to be, we don't want to be under others. We want to become whole, want to be a self, right? And then when we start looking for jobs and going to school, being paid, we're paying ourselves with the knowledge. And that's being a servant. And then to return back to realize that, hey, being a servant is not, I want to be a son, a son. I want to go back to the creator. I want to be the electron. I want to go back. I don't want to be alone out here. I cannot be an atom. I'm only an electron. I'm only dancing all about. So all I have to do is return back to the atom, right? And that's where I belong. So that I can have a stable ground. I need a shell to hold on to. And it's only peace that have no storm. That is the atom. We all now, when we fall off the atom, when we fall off the Brahmin, when we fall off peace that have no storm, we become of different sizes, and some with greater storms of so much anxiety, some with lesser storms of lesser anxiety. We're all having anxiety in different forms are still having a form of a storm. Now needs to peace still that storm. Okay, some need more of peace still in the storm, some need lesser. But even of those who need lesser peace still in the storm, when they return back, they find themselves not whole because they're seeing the other that are supposed to be on the, when you lose electrons, you want them all back. The atom is not complete. Okay, now this creator is complete, but us not feeling complete because we were a whole. Now, of one missing, it's like we have to find that one, right? But the one that made us is whole, right? Is whole. But now with the pieces on that one, know that we are supposed to be all enveloped. We have to all connect. That when one is not connected, it's looking for the other piece to connect. And it's a disruption for all. It affects all. Like I said, a ripple of one drop affects all the ocean. Until now, when one is affecting the other now start after a while, starts saying, "Oh, please, you're disturbing, you're disturbing," and he's saying disturbing. The other one next to you is also hearing and saying, "But now you're also disturbing," and then the three of you are disturbing now, and the others are like, "Come on, there's too much noise in the room," and then at the end, everyone is trying to say, "I'm trying to study, I'm trying." Everyone is like, okay. Then the whole room now is like, okay, okay. It started with one, just saying, "One is fallen, one is fallen. I need my other side," right? So it's now affecting all. So now we have to find that one and put there so that everyone should get home. This is why us of the ice, we all ice have to return, and we all becoming liquid is liquid also becoming seeking to become gas, having nowhere else to go. Those that are disorientated will be seeking to reorientate themselves. Or why is there no ice? Why is those that are so disorientated that they cannot even listen to directions anymore of those of the physical being able to listen, not with arrogance, because when you're able to listen, you have no arrogant pride or low self-esteem. But if you have any of those, it means you are still missing something. So you have to try to get humble pride, and it's what I'm seeking right now of myself. I'm saying this because of myself. I'm still working on humble pride. That how much I have is not enough, and you have to be able to achieve that. Sometimes you feel like you've achieved it all already, but you're still in the physical. Why? Then you see that, hey, give yourself a time. There's a reason why you have that. You've come all the way to this place of ice, right? So now it's a matter of returning back, and it's gracefully. Let the flesh part gracefully. That if you have to rip yourself, it means that you have not understood who you are. You're supposed to be peaceful in the storm. Let the flesh gracefully part to where it belongs on the ground, and then we realize that, hey, finally the one that is the real solid of this fall is the earth itself enveloping us, and we are the ones keeping the earth disrupted because we are still in there, right? So we need to gracefully get out, not ripping ourselves out, no, gracefully getting out, knowing that bringing someone into a place where there's disorientation in the liquid state and the gaseous state, being under all those is not right, meaning that it's complicated. We all keep on going back and coming forth, going and coming, going like Papa Jacob said, I saw the angels going and coming, going and coming. Why? Are they supposed to be going and coming? It's because you are here, Papa Jacob, right? Now, of understanding the Abrahamic religion and how they've been going all through and what they're explaining, I'm sure that even in the Western religion, talking about the Greece and the European, having following, we know of even the East, the Estra. They said the Estra was the goddess of with the rabbit that lay eggs, colorful eggs, and all that. All this why enabling about riches, because where we come from is riches, wealth, and health, right? So what are they needing? They're needing their health back, of orientating themselves to realize that, hey, making riches down here is really complicated, because there are some out there who are really needing help, and they will be disrupting these ones that are making, right? So why even making it in this fall until those ones are well? And why am I even down here? At the end, you see that you're not even supposed to be here. We all part away. So you're going to be leaving those ones here for who to be taking care of them when you see others in the liquid and gaseous state really strong. And you think, oh, when I go up there, I'll be able to take care of them because I'll be better. But what if those ones are trying to follow by someone else? It's self-will, right? That even when you have children, they all have their own will. They all have who they want to follow. So at the end, it's like no one is following me, only one. After all the 10 children I have, so we all see that everyone is having their own mind, but now we all want everyone to be able to have the one mind of peace, still in the storm, back to peace that have no storm, of greatest, not of looking for the others. Some are having 9 on 10 storms. Some are having 8 on 10 storms. Some are having 5 on 10 storms. The children come, the one wants to go, but the one that have 10 storms. Someone will go, the one that have 5 on 10. What is there that is attracting you? The wealth, the wealth, the wealth. But what they need the health. You have to help them get the health. And if you're getting the wealth, not helping them getting the health, what's the point? Okay, there's nothing wrong with where you're falling, but now if you're just able to help them get the health, what's your point there? You're only making their state a difficult state. So let's all try to heal, knowing that we all deserve the wealth and also the health. It's true. But now, how do we heal? We have to sit back. We need a table talk. We need a table talk. We all have something that we're missing that we need to sit down and talk about. We need a table talk. Now we understand that of a greater state of which you can choose to become, of any form of the lowest is of the liquid state. When you become of the liquid state, you are now some been able to get the flesh, be able to decode the flesh and become of all, while still being humans. Okay, their time of becoming liquid is not there. It's not there yet. So they're able to travel all these states while getting older, to the point of where it's enough for them to part. We're able to, of self-will, choose how we want to part this world. But now, some not able wanting to do that. But at the point, by the end of the world, is that really the point of changing states? No. some are so scared because when they see the others going but still disoriented, they're like, I don't want to be struggling when I get out there. You know what I mean? So what is important is understanding peace during the storm. Going back to peace that have no storm, that you will see one and say, you know what, you're already so complete. You are seeing me so complete because you've traveled all these days and not seen no one like this one. But is that enough? Is this enough? Peace during the storm enough? No. We have to be able to let the flesh gracefully part, right? When the flesh is able to gracefully part, then we know that we have achieved of practice enough, worthy to go. So are you that you are able to go to all these states in a problem? No. What you're missing is of the dummy books, right? Like what we are able to, we all are using it right now. Of me being at the age of 30, I should have known this at the age of 5. Those at the age of 5 are like, to them, it's normal. You know, to me, it's like, okay, I should have known this already when I was 5 years old or 8 years old, right? But we all are not feeling too big or too arrogant pride to get back to reorientate ourselves. Reorientate ourselves gracefully, knowing that no one is limited. Of every level that you are, just try to maintain of best to get enough knowledge before you travel to the next realm of becoming gaseous. You should not be going everywhere and then falling with those that are more intense for you and making a complicated ground for you and you're struggling. We all want to be able to travel this road of the best peace during the storm. Okay, it's what I'm expecting of us to reorientate while we are going through this journey of knowing ourselves, of being, and the states that we are able to change of self-will. Okay, so now of the ice age that we are, we must be vigilant and focused going while traveling this journey. We have to be focused, knowing that if we are able, even though we don't know our origin, where we come from, we should be able to at least we are going there, right? We don't know our origin, but we are still going there. So we should be able to focus and be vigilant, knowing that the answer is in the question. Okay, the solution is in the problem. Is what we are saying. That even in our fall, we know our origin is in the fall. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That how is it possible that you're a baby and then you grow up, right? The solution is always in the problem. So now the problem is we are in the fall. So what is the solution? Peace. Peace that have no storm. That's how we know it because the answer is in the question. So now we are in the fall. What is the answer? Go back up. Arise, go back up. We are in a storm. What's the answer? Peace that have no storm. So we are in a place where we are able to know our answer, right? So we are traveling back to that place, to the origin. It's like the origin is already with us in the end. Okay, we know our end goal. We're starting the journey. So we already knowing this is able to now process it. How do we process this? It's by each other understanding each other, knowing that Buddhism say nirvana is the end goal. Hinduism say Brahmin is the end goal, and that's what we are looking to get to. Okay, by seeking for Sachitananda. Sachitananda is self, right? Looking for knowledge enough of sound mind, of being blissful, the most happiest state of us we're looking for is peace that have no storm, right? And then the Western world, we're looking for riches, right? The riches, their gods is also about riches of wealth and all that. And that is of the riches of being in that peace that have no storm, that richness, right? We're fulfilled. Right, that's what we're looking for, and that's the wealth and of the mind. The wealth of the mind is knowledge, right? That of the physical, we have learned all this. It's not in vain, but that we should be able to use it right into the mind to achieve of the mind of who we are supposed to be. And then the Abrahamic says oneness. They're looking for a oneness, and that's the one that we all belong in. That when we reach this place of peace that have no storm, we all are one, right? And then the Africans are seeking for healing, of unity, of harmony, of peace. And this is all the same of peace turning the storm back to peace that have no storm. And that is who we are. The atheist at the end, I started the Buddhism, but my paper is Hinduism. That is first, right? Of seeking for the Brahmin, which is a universal of us being the one, and then ending up with the atheists. The atheists say peace is still in the storm. Is what they're looking for. They don't want to know about any God because of the images that I've heard, that I've learned. It's not about the images. Well, the images are important, but we should first of all know who we are first before we start following the images, right? We know that it's about peace still in the storm, back to peace that have no storm, right? And that means no affliction. No affliction triggers. Anything that will cause any affliction trigger, no to it. Anything that will cause any confusion, no to it. Anything that will keep us in the solid state that is so limited and the struggle of those above, no to it. Now is what we know. So now is gracefully getting out of this high state, by gracefully without complications, by not punishing others, but lullabying each other, encouraging and reminding each other of who we are, so that no one is limited or feeling of low self-esteem or arrogant pride, but all of humble pride. We need to return back healthily. We have to be healthy returning back. So now we all know in the 80s, even though they don't believe in God, they believe in peace. They know what is good. That even some things that are not looking good that we think that is good, we begin to reorientate on them. That should be our own. That should be where we are right now, trying to flip the puzzle pieces that are upside down. Okay, not that we don't know who we are. We need to know who we are, knowing that okay, we have ancestors. We are looking up to them, but looking up to those that are more sound, but not rejecting those that are not sound, knowing that they are our responsibility too. Because when we get to that end of peace that have no storm, there will be pieces that are missing, and we need to connect. Everyone should be able to hold their hands, and not someone not having a hand to hold. It's like, okay, what about me, right? And you cannot stretch your hand all the way to the other to hold, because one space is missing. Stretching your hand is gonna hurt. So at the end, we don't want anyone having a hurting hand. We should be back whole on the shell. All atoms should be in the right place. So there's no stretching of hands, right? We all in the right place. It's what I want us to see, the reality of us, without looking at gods that were, gods are beautiful, right? If you understand them, like peace still in the storm, back to peace that have no storm. But if you are one that have fallen, repelled because of the condition of how you were going towards them, or they were coming towards you of affliction, you don't want to connect with them anymore. You begin to understand why the Hinduism had a god, where the statues were all to keep the gods in there, right? That's a medium where the god speaks in the physical, but the Ibrahimic, the medium that is only imaginary, of out there, of power, feeling. It's all the same thing, right? But now it's better than of a solid state. It's what they will say, right? That God can be kicked out. Right, even the Africans had their gods, the statues that were like 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 in the shrines, right? We have the crown of thorns, the book that we read, that the god was taken away to the Westerns, came and took the god away, and then the god came back spiritually. Everything is spirit, right? They appear and disappear. So some liquid state being, like of a soul, will come and sit eating next to you a plate of food, and the food they'll eat it all, and you'll be like, how did they even eat the food when they're not human? When you become a liquid state, you can become solid. You can choose whatever you want to do. Some don't even want to become physical anymore of a solid state. They just want to stay liquid. Okay, some just want to gain just that power, and so that you should not make them feel less. They don't want to feel less. They want to feel superior over you. They are only going after power. Power is limited without wisdom of peace during the storm, without a purpose, without knowing who we are, of the mind, peace that have no storm. Okay, that we begin to find complications, not practicing of what is right, not practicing of the easiest right way. It becomes a complicated right way, right? I hope we understand. I really seek understanding. When I say pray, I'm pleading. That's an intense pleading, saying praying. I pray we understand. I really seek we get to this place of reorientating back to peace that have no storm, of the mind. We need to seek the mind. We need to know who we are, the mind. The battlefield is us, the mind. The spirit, that is disorientated, needs to be reorientated, right? We all have that in us, that we're trying to, of every form of it, of every form of disability that we have. We need to correct it. Maybe mine is my hand and I'm trying to get it back right. Maybe yours is your leg, you're trying to get it back right. Maybe yours is your lip or your mouth, or all forms of disabilities that we have known. We all have a means of trying to get them back right. Physical therapists, we have occupational therapists. We have all kind of therapists out here, right? All those therapists are meant for us. Speech therapists, all those therapists is a matter of every problem has a solution. Meaning that when you get to a place of fall, your answer is right there, because you know it's the opposite. If you have a pain, the opposite is no pain, right? So we have to be seeking of peace that have no storm, not a storm on a storm. Please, not being in peace and trying to find a storm. Okay, we are not coming back into the eyes. We are going also being in the eyes, us trying to mingle man and woman, trying to make a child. It's just calling for those in the liquid state, attracting them. It's like putting food on their nose, like come back in this way, come back this way. And some don't just want to come back because they are so confused out there. And then some have never been. They just come from the gaseous state all the way down, right, to the physical. It is so we have to be able to enable this chaos out here have a place of stability, and the really core is us of the physical, the eyes. We need to be able to get out of this ice back to liquid. That will stop the gaseous to be seeking to come into an ice state. They will end in the liquid and trying to go back into the gaseous state, and the liquid will be seeking to go back. So it's a matter of going back, like water goes back up to the sky, it should not be coming back down, right? So when there's no ice, there's no liquid, we'll all end up in the gaseous state. We are the ones to block and hold hands and keep going together in harmony. We have to try to do this together. That's why the rainbow code comes out there. We all different have to get to a place of understanding of unity, of peace still in the storm, back to peace that have no storm. That the rainbow will seek to go back into the light, right? Where there's no difference. And that's the sound mind that we are. Stay blessed, royalties. Thank you for watching the video today. And hopefully we have the next video. And we'll be I don't really have a topic right now on the next video, but I'm gonna get to you, and hopefully you understand that it's all about peace turning the storm back to peace that have no storm. Stay safe and sit back and reflect on this while we travel, and reflect on this little piece of knowledge that I've brought out for us to work on. A reminder, not teaching. Please, let's remind ourselves who we are. Peace that have no storm. We seek our end goal. Stay blessed. Thank you.